Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. I am Shantae Javon Taylor, neuroscientist and success strategist. And today you're having coffee with the neuroscientist and coffee with Burnout Coach for social workers, Saveen Sindrani. Welcome, Saveen.
Thank you, Shantae. I'm so excited to be here. This is really a pleasure.
Absolutely. So today we're going to highlight Saveen's world and how she shows up in the world as powerfully as possible using brain science to really change the world in her own way. And, Saveen has a story to tell. And that's what I like to do with our OptiMind graduates. Take them from point A to point Z and allow them to experience the journey through the lens of the brain and the mind so they can really show up in their full power, because I believe that's what we're on this planet to be, to show up in our full power, our full glory. And I truly believe, I'm a little partial, people, I truly believe that the brain is the way to get there. Where's my brain? Here it is. The brain is the next evolution to our humanity, our creativity, our innovation. And Saveen was able to see that. She was able to hear that message and say, I have to know more. I have to learn more. I need to be more in this life because there's another level of me. So congratulations, Saveen, for hearing the call, because not everybody's going to hear the call to study the brain. It's like, whoa, the brain. I can't learn that. Actually, you should learn it because we all have one. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, or drink of choice. What are you drinking, Saveen?
I'm drinking hazelnut coffee.
Ooh, nice. Yes. So come hang out with us, everyone, as we go on the journey of Saveen, burnout and social work coach. So, Saveen, why don't you share with us who you are and what you do in the world?
Yeah. So again, I'm Saveen. I am a licensed social worker and was recently certified as a neuroscience coach and leader through the OptiMind Institute. But I think that my passion in this world is all about helping social workers and other mental health professionals find their worth. I truly believe that it isn't until we feel worthy and we move in that worthiness every day that we really start to take care of ourselves. And being a social worker myself, I know what burnout feels like. I know what compassion fatigue feels like. I know what secondary trauma feels like. And when I saw social workers suffering and giving so much and pretty much running on empty, it really broke my heart. And I wasn't okay with that. And I knew that something had to change, and we have to be the change, right?
Absolutely.
When we are advanced thinkers, we don't sit on the sidelines. We create change. We become the change. And I think that that's where the journey started, is where I knew something had to change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And social workers do such important work for humanity, for society, for our community. So if you all are burnt out and stressed out, that's going to be a ripple effect in our communities, in our families, and those who need you the most to help them to handle life in their personal lives and their educational lives. You are integrate or very important to helping that part of society who needs you. So you didn't always start off as you are trained as a social worker, but when you wanted to go out and do more coaching, you didn't necessarily start out as a a coach for social workers. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So, I always wanted to take my journey, my health journey in terms of weight and nutrition and all of that. And I wanted to I had that same underlying concept, right? For people to feel worthy, because it wasn't until I started to feel worthy that I actually started to take care of my body, my nutrition, my fitness, just my health in general.
Mm-hmm.
And so initially I wanted to spread that message. And so I was, sort of in the path of doing that. But I think something was missing, and it's hard to realize that in the moment, when you're sort of in it. So that's what my journey was initially about. And it was good. I was reaching out to people were connecting, and I saw that. But I always had this part of me that wanted to do something for social workers. I wasn't sure exactly what.
Okay.
I had experienced a lot of success in terms of being a social worker because I was using a lot of trauma-informed interventions, because I was, really using the brain in all parts of my roles, not just therapy, but case management and all of that. And so I knew I wanted to help. I saw social workers getting demoted. I saw them, not getting the outcomes that they were capable of getting. And so when you and I spoke and we started to explore, this other part of me, I think it fit so well. It felt right.
So your original niche, although you wanted to help people with their health and their weight and all of that because of your journey, something just wasn't clicking all the way. And did you find that you were getting the flow of clients and be able to market to them as powerfully when you were in that particular role?
Not at all. Not at all. I think that, the journey with the OptiMind and everything, it transformed everything. And I know that this really clicked for me, and this feels right in every part of every cell in my body. It just feels right. However, I know that in the future, if I did want to do that, and if I wanted to go back to that and add on to this or something, I mean, I can do it. I will have the flow of clients. I will, because I have the groundwork done, and I think a lot of the groundwork is right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So I think that no matter what, yeah, I would not have, there was not, I always say I wasn't taking action.
Okay.
I wasn't taking action. And if I'm not taking action, how can I expect other people to take action?
So why was it so important for you to do something different, more powerful? I mean, what was it that you were like, this is not working and I don't feel like I'm showing up as powerfully? I mean, what was it for you that tipping point to say, no, I got to find something else to do, or, find another powerful way to be a coach?
Pretty much, this is what I think. I think when you're not showing up as powerfully, I think, and this is just me, but I think the universe just guides you in the right direction. I don't know if there was an exact moment, but I know that I was struggling. And when I was struggling, when you're struggling, I think you're thirsty for something different. You're thirsty for something that will feel different. And when I came across, your webinar, that felt different to me. That felt like it clicked. That was me. Because that's how I wanted to show up. So it resonated, so well. And that was like that moment where I was like, no, this is me. This is more of me.
Yeah. So it was on your frequency, like you just resonated all over. Like you said, every cell in your body was like, yes, the answer is the brain. Yes. So before the brain, I know you were trained in trauma, in clinical type work. What else had you tried to get your coaching business off the ground and really, be able to transfer your skills? What else had you tried before OptiMind?
1,000 webinars, just exploring. I had to learn, what this coaching business was like, because I was, only familiar with therapy and private practice and what clinicians do. So this was a very new world for me. I tried to, really just take in knowledge from anywhere, whether it was, free stuff people were offering, other coaches were offering, or about branding and about the business side of things. I didn't know the tech stuff. So, I was reaching out to people in groups, Facebook groups that were talking about tech stuff and like, hey, how do you do this? So I was all over the place. I didn't have one clear path, and I'll say, I mean, it's not that people didn't offer me. I mean, people offered me, hey, look, this is how we can do this. We can work together and whatnot. But there's a reason I didn't go for that. It still didn't feel right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you joined OptiMind, where we train coaches and leaders to understand the brain better and infuse it powerfully into their work so that they stand out and make more powerful transformations in their clients and with the organizations. Was there a time in the beginning of the journey of OptiMind that you were kind of skeptical? Because I know I was like, Saveen, you're a social worker. Social workers need you. Why are you doing this health coaching stuff?
Mhm.
Even though it's admirable, were you kind of skeptical about the journey of OptiMind?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that that's needed. You have to have that, because if you're not, then that means you're not really being challenged. I mean, I don't know if there's really a challenge in that if you're not feeling that way. But yeah, I was skeptical. I was one, worried about shifting my whole niche. Like, how do I just create this entire shift? Like, here I am talking constantly about weight and body, positivity and whatnot. And now all of a sudden I'm going to start talking about, burnout and social workers. And
Mm-hmm.
so there was that, like, how is that going to happen? And I think, like anything that you commit to, there's a little bit of fear that stays, like, is she really going to be the one? Is Shantae really going to be the one to, see me through, and really hold my hand and not let go until, like, I'm like, like a child, like, you want to be like, don't let go yet. Don't let go yet.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a point where you're like, you're flying and you're thriving, and you still have that support and that nest to go back to. But so I think that, yeah, I was skeptical. I was worried about, I was also feeling a lot of imposter syndrome. Like, I'm a social worker, so who am I to tell other social workers what to do? You know, so there was a lot of that. Yeah.
And did you find that as you're learning about your own brain and mastering your own brain, that helped you with those feelings of fear and imposter syndrome and keeping up your mental energy so that you can, plow through those obstacles?
All the time, every single day. Every single day. I mean, I really believe, I think fear does show up. I mean, and it's nothing. I don't fear anymore.
Mm.
I'm okay with it because I have the knowledge and the strategies, and I can externalize it and say, okay, when I think about it as my brain, it becomes less personal.
Mm.
And if I have a dip, it's a dip, and I recognize it as that. And so, yes, all of those strategies every single day help me plow through the fear, the imposter syndrome. Um, I, whenever I feel that, I'm so much more aware of it, and I can normalize it. I can externalize it. And what I do is I do for sure take some action at that point,
Mhm.
even if it's something small, because that again shifts my brain into action mode, and it takes it away from that emotional brain that's just trying to capture me into fear and, something's not right and you're not good enough and all of that. So it just kind of shifts it. And so it's so powerful to see yourself making these shifts.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm just 100%. You can't, you can't tell other people to do it if you're not doing it yourself. I mean, you can, I guess, but it's not going to it's not going to be as powerful. You're not going to really understand your client's journey if you're not going through it.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of the imposter syndrome as well.
Yeah.
You have to be practicing what you preach. You have to have mastered your own brain or on the journey of mastering your own brain so that you can show up as powerfully as possible for those who need you to take their hand. And
Absolutely. I mean, I have to take action. Like when I use this, method of, okay, I need to take, as soon as if I recognize fear, I'm going to counter that with action, something small. It doesn't matter what it is, some action. And I do the same with my clients. Like, because of knowing that, because I know it helps me,
Mhm.
I then strategically tell them, to plan out actions, when they're exhausted, when they're burnt out, when they're emotionally fatigued, when they feel unappreciated and, undervalued. Again, it's their brain also capturing them with the fear and emotions and all of that. And they need to take some action. And when they can do something as simple as, one of my clients is really passionate about writing. And so when she takes out when she just literally that action of pulling out that notebook, and writing and taking action, just completely shifts her brain into a different direction. And so it's win-win for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the OptiMind program, it's an intense program. I mean, you have 8 weeks of learning about the brain at a level in which you've never learned before. And then you have to incorporate it and implement the strategy so that you can be able to then transform your clients. And then on top of that, you and I are meeting and we're building out your program. We're dealing with the mindset stuff that comes with shifting and doing the task and all that. But in the end, you put in the work. So this program will not work unless people do the work, and you got to show up and you got to do what you got to do to get to your vision. Because I'm all about getting people to their highest self. So that means you got to meet me halfway. And you really did, Saveen. I will say that. I'm like, Saveen is putting in the work. She's doing what she needs to do. She's asking questions. She's following up, So that's what the brain is, a goal achieving machine. So the more intense you are about getting to your vision, the more you trust in the process as well. And I know you had some, skeptics, the doubt monsters coming in sometimes, but overall you trusted in the process.
Mhm.
You're like, I don't know what it is about this journey, but I need to be on it. And I know my fear brain, my doubt monsters are going to come up, but I trust in this process. And as a result, you were able to get your webinar up and running. You were able to start getting, hundreds of social workers, into your realm of influence. You started getting your enrollment calls, and take it from there, Saveen. What happened after that?
Yeah, I mean, hundreds of people, registered for the webinar, asked for the replay when they found out about it. I really, agree. You have to show up for yourself. Okay. You have to show up for yourself. The program is intense, but if you don't embrace that intensity and just, like you said, trust that process, I remember I felt like I was a sponge again, like when I was in school, I was like a sponge and everything was like being soaked in. And then I had more and then more and then more. But it just, took me from being so lost and confused, to having direction, to I remember the day when you said, okay, um, let's get your webinar slides up. And I thought, already? Like, this is it? Like, and then you were like, yeah, the enrollment calls now are going to happen. And I said, already? Um, and then I think 2 weeks later, I was like, I have a call. What do I do? Like, so it was so unreal. But it's happening. And I think the lesson I've learned is you don't have to, don't wait. Don't wait, you don't have to wait. I'm serving my clients as powerfully as I can. And that's such a great feeling. 3 clients signed up. I did my second webinar, had over, like, I think 150 some registrations. So yay. I think another 10 or 11 enrollment calls booked for
Wow.
this month and the beginning of December. So we'll see what comes from that. But today, for example, I posted very powerfully that I'm looking for social workers to, who want to get out of burnout. And I think until then, like, I was still hesitant about asking or calling upon social workers, even though I was doing the webinar. And so I think each part of your journey is going to take you to a higher level. And it's, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you're doing. And you have to trust in the process, and you have to show up for yourself. This is me showing up for myself. Like the post I did today, I always tell myself, this is me showing up for myself, and so I think the growth is amazing, personally and professionally and financially. That's a realistic part of what we're doing. And and I think as social workers, and I know a lot of people struggle with this, but particularly social workers we have these belief systems, right? That, I don't know, we're supposed to be poor, and we're supposed to be serving, we're supposed to be undervalued and underpaid and whatnot. And I'm breaking those belief systems. I'm breaking those mental barriers for myself and other social workers. And so, but I can't expect other social workers to transform their careers and ask for those raises and really stand up for what they, what their worth is, if I don't do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if you're not getting paid your value,
Right.
all those years of schooling, that's tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, all those certifications. Okay, just to work practically for free and struggle, that's part of the burnout when you're in survival mode, right? And it's not like in your program, you're telling people, oh, become a coach like me. You're coaching them to a higher part of their brain, to manage their brain more powerfully so they can show up more powerfully for their clients, and also help parents and kids with their own brains. And that's a ripple effect in society if everybody's operating at this higher level of their brain power, really intentionally and purposefully. And of course, social workers, that's a profession. So they need to be able to bust those money belief systems so that they can go after that raise, right? That next level of professionalism, go after that master's degree or that PhD. Every next level of us requires another level of our brain power.
Absolutely.
If you don't know how to access your brain power and manage those fears and doubt monsters, you will stay stuck, and it will only get worse, not better.
No, it won't. I mean, and I see it. You'll see that, clients do show up with a lot of fear, some with more fear, and sometimes they're not sometimes I'm not able to cross them over, but it's important. And this is, again, something that I think the skill and sort of belief that I developed with the OptiMind Institute is that, that's not failure. That's learning. and I always tell, okay, this is what I learned from this, this is what I learned. I learned that this is what it looks like when someone's really grasped by fear and stuck. This is what it looks like for me when I'm scared, to ask for what I, am worth and whatnot. So it's all about, showing up for yourself, learning that, fear is only going to take you backwards.
Absolutely. And fear can be in disguise, right? So we have to help our clients to identify what fear looks like for them, because they may be misinterpreting it as something else. But when you're able to bring to their mind what the fear is, then you can deal with the fear. But you have to be aware enough in yourself, and be aware enough that fear shows up in multiple ways to be able to address that with your clients or your potential clients. Because before they even become your clients, like you said, they're already showing the fear.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And the fear is keeping them stuck and in a place that's where they're not going to thrive. Okay. So the reason why I had wanted you to, niche to social workers, because that's your heart. That was when I spoke to you before you even, enrolled in the OptiMind Institute. I could just hear how passionate you were about this population.
Yeah.
You are them. You were burnt out. You were
Right.
stressed out. It was wearing and tearing on you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to show up for your clients. So I knew in my heart of hearts that you needed to niche and serve this population of people, because that's just where your heart is. And that is part of my super, power.
Yes. I mean, agreed 100%, because like I said before, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have really gone in that direction. I don't think I would have believed in myself enough had you not believed in me. And that's the power of seeking support, right? And going with this powerful, coaches have coaches and executives have coaches, and we all need support. That's one of the shifts I talk about in my webinar. The fifth shift is to be okay with seeking help and guidance and, letting someone show you the way. And you literally just lit the path for me. Like, here it is, and like you said, you have to show up, you have to walk that path. Your coach can't want it more than you do. That's simple.
Absolutely. And I said in the beginning of this interview, you got to meet me halfway, because we're all in. I'm all in. You've texted me on a Saturday, just to get before you hopped on your enrollment call, like you need, encouragement and, a few more to really, enroll that client. And I was okay with that, because I'm all in on your dream, but you got to be all in on your dream too.
Exactly. I agree. It's not a one-way street at all. You first of all, you can't do it alone, and your coach is not going to do it for you. It just doesn't work that way. It's your dream, it's your passion, and it's your calling, and the people that you're serving need you. And I tell my clients the same thing. I'm like, I'm here, but if you don't reach out and if you don't utilize everything, I'm talking about the knowledge, the tools, the support, all of that, if you don't use that, then how you can't expect, the 100% result that you want. But I'm here for you. That's my job.
And what do your clients think about you coming from the angle of the brain? What is attracting them to you? Because, there's a few social work coaches out there, right?
Right.
But you're unique because you come from the lens of the brain and the mind. So what kind of responses have you gotten from your clients?
I'm talking about from clients, from other connections, from other social work coaches, even podcasts. I mean, the reaction is just, I mean, they're fascinated. They are fascinated. They are intrigued. They are curious. They want more. You know, they want to be able to, you know, use this for everything that they do. Um, and it's not just social workers who are in clinical roles. I mean, they can be in case management roles, they can be burnt out, and they get very curious. Like, you can use neuroscience in a case management role where you're, you know, mostly responsible for referrals and stuff like that. Absolutely. You can use neuroscience in advocacy. I mean, you should be using neuroscience in advocacy. And so they get the reactions are just mind blowing. And you know what? When it comes to like making connections with other social workers or coaches or podcasts or whatever in the field, instantly they want to do something. They want to do something with me. They want to connect with me somehow instantly, because they feel like I have something really unique to offer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, and I've seen a lot of the social work podcasts already have episodes on burnout, but they still want me on the show to give this really amazing new perspective. And I'll say this other social worker that I just did the podcast for, she said to me at the end, her reaction was, she's like, I've had so many people on the show and it's great. It's amazing. And she's like, but I've never been in that space where I learned something new.
Wow.
And she was like, you know, we talk, we have great conversations, but she's like, I was sitting here just like, you know, mind blown.
Yeah, because people don't know what they don't know. The brain is the center of everything in this human experience. How we communicate, how we make decisions, you know, how we show up every day in our business, our professions for other people. It's the center. And until we come back to center, you know, we'll be overwhelmed. We won't know the directions to take. We'll still have the blind spots, right? So there is so much opportunity for you, Saveen. And you're seeing it in this area. People don't even know what they don't know about their powerful brain and how they can use it to amplify their work, to amplify themselves.
Yeah, I mean, and I would think, or people would think that anybody may think that in their particular niche that the people might know about the brain, you know, like you would think that mental health professionals, right? But it's not, you know, it's not included as much in the educational process and even in a master's program. I mean, and so, and also, you know, I think if people really even have a basic understanding, a couple years later, you're in your, you know, you're just doing your thing, and you're not thinking with the brain in mind all the time. Bring that to the forefront and say, okay, here it is. That's what makes them rejuvenated, like powerful as anything, you know. Even for them, it's more opportunities. For me, it's more opportunities because, like I said, these social workers that I'm talking to, they're experienced, they're seasoned social workers, but they're still not moving with the brain in mind.
That's the missing piece.
That's the missing link. I have this, I think, quote in one of my slides is, the brain is the missing link to a beautiful social work life.
Oh, I love that. I love like that's like poetry.
I know.
Mind.
It's in my webinar, actually. Now I remember. Yeah, it's towards the end of my webinar.
Yeah, neuroscience it's a beautiful art form. It's a beautiful science. You know, if you even just look at my backdrop, right? It's a beautiful instrument. It's a beautiful organic piece of technology. It's the greatest technology on the planet. And we have the power to design it to fuel our journeys, to show up as powerfully as possible, and to help others to do the same. You are helping by stepping into your power and enrolling in OptiMind, you are helping with the mission of empowering 100 million minds.
Yeah.
Because we can't do it alone in the OptiMind Institute. There's only so many people who are going to enroll in the OptiMind Institute. There's only so many organizations we can go into, right? But if we train you all, the ones that hear the call, the ones that know through and through that the brain is the answer,
yeah,
you all will then touch the minds and hearts of the people that we can't reach. I haven't trained social workers before, I don't know what they deal with. So you know them from the inside out. Now you can share this powerful perspective and empower them. That's what you're doing. You're empowering a whole profession of people that we need in this society. You are the ripple, Saveen, and I just want to honor you.
Thank you
for hearing the call and trusting in the process and going with your intuition that this was your next big move. Out of the thousands of webinars and the free downloads and the PDFs and the worksheets and all that, you knew there was something missing.
Yep.
And it was the brain.
Thank you. I mean, I can't thank you enough. Sometimes I don't have the words. I think my gratitude to you and the entire OptiMind, program and everybody who's part of it is to do the work. That is my gratitude, is to do the work and create that ripple effect, because, social workers are hurting. And because they're caring for people who are hurting, there's nobody to look after them. There's nobody there. There's no space, technically. I mean, there's different aspects, people, creating programs for, like self-care, or somebody's focusing on career, or somebody's focusing on, helping them pass the exams. And they're all great things, but they're all dispersed, and they don't have one place to come for everything.
Yes.
And so caring for them means, again, another ripple effect.
Yes.
But now they're caring, their care for other people is not compromised, and they're now creating, they're empowering their clients to heal generational trauma. I mean, that's huge. They can't do that if they're not brain informed, if they're not, neuroscience informed. They can't do that.
Yeah, because if they're burnt out, they're more likely to have biases, make mistakes, send in the wrong form, snap at their kids, snap at their clients, right? And that's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
We change other people's brains from our reactions, from our behaviors.
Right. And how devastating that, this morning, a client said, I said, what would happen if you didn't change anything? If you just left everything unaddressed and just kind of went with it, what would happen? And she said, I wouldn't be in this profession much long. And that's devastating. How many social workers do we need? We can't lose social workers. Can't afford to lose social workers.
You're saving the profession, Saveen. You're saving the world. You're saving the world. Thank you, Saveen. Thank you. So Saveen's program deals with everything mind and burnout and social work. So you take them literally on a journey with you for about 8 weeks. And you're dealing with all parts of their life, starting with the brain, their personal life, their professional life, their health, and also their career. The things that are keeping them blocked from aspiring to go higher, or changing positions or whatever they need to do to get to grow in their area as well. So it's all inclusive. Like you said, normally things are all over the place, and they probably will never get to the neuroscience, their own brain. So your program is a one-stop shop to serve and heal and allow social workers to get back to their heart center, because the burnout cancels that out,
Exactly.
so that they can, refuel, regenerate, and keep going with this important profession.
Mm-hmm.
Important for our community. So I thank you for sharing your
Yeah.
work, your journey, even your challenges, your skepticism, all of that. That all matters. It's not
Yeah.
all roses. The OptiMind, like I said, the OptiMind journey can be intense. I'm an intense coach, okay, but it's worth it. It's
It's
worth
so
it
worth it.
for your dream, to fight for your heart, to fight for your passion, to fight for all that you've invested to become the person you have become. And I don't want you to lose that. I want you to bring all that on your journey to the next level of yourself, whatever that looks like for you. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I think it's important to be authentic, in the OptiMind program. You have to be authentic. You have to bring it all. Your fears, the pain, the wins, which is why I post a lot, because you have to bring it all, and that's where the power is your coach can really help you. This program, OptiMind, can change your life if you show up authentically.
yes, personally, professionally,
Mhm.
and your business. And I just see you continuing to serve and take off and evolve and, and also make an income that correlates with your level of knowledge and growth and all of that. You deserve it, Saveen. You deserve
Thank
it.
you so much, Shantae.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Where can people follow you and learn more about what you do, Saveen?
My website is youmattercoaching.org. I am on LinkedIn as Saveen, and then I am also on Instagram as Saveen_YouMatter. So,
All right. And what opportunities do you have in the pipeline?
So I'm actually wanting to create something on I don't want to say a smaller scale, but something for social workers who really just need a smaller boost. Like, here's the knowledge, here's how to apply it, and they don't necessarily need a lot of that personal support. So maybe something more of like a course type thing. So that's in the pipeline. Podcast, hopefully soon, as we were discussing earlier. And really just growing. Like, I want this to become where it's running on its own in terms of, the webinars going, clients are, booking calls. I'm able to show up for those calls and take them on their journey. So all of that is in the works, and, you have to, it is a walk before you run process, so you walk and you stumble and you get back up and you walk, and then eventually in the pipeline is to start running.
Absolutely. So, did you find that your opportunities opened up as soon as you started really putting yourself out there and you were more confident in your niche?
Very much. That's why I think it's so important to have the right niche and be something that it really touches your heart and that you're all in, because people are looking for confidence. People are looking for you to show them the way. And opportunities with neuroscience are, endless. I think this is like, I can just already feel and see that this is such a small beginning.
Mm.
Like I there's so much to do. So much that I'm going to do with this. So much. It's just, there's a lot. The opportunities are endless.
Absolutely. And I look forward to watching you evolve and grow and still supporting you. Still supporting you. I can't wait to be on your podcast one day.
Oh my God. And just this morning, I was using the tool of daydreaming. I was daydreaming, and I was daydreaming about certain, daydreaming of my bank account a certain way. I was daydreaming of being invited to a podcast that I dream of being on, Brene Brown's podcast. I mean, I'm just daydreaming, and I can't thank you enough for your support. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but when we first got on the call, I said, "Oh, like this is you, actually you." I was expecting like somebody else to just
An
do.
enrollment coach, yeah.
Um, and that really, that really touched me. And you answering my calls, my texts,
But you understand boundaries. It's like you don't take advantage of that.
I try really hard not to. Yeah, I try to, keep it. But I know that, it's good to know that when you're really like, if you're really caught in a tough spot, someone's gonna, just pat you on the back and say, you got this, that's all. And whether that's, calling or texting you, or whether that's, just posting something in the group, and then, the community that you've built is so amazing.
Yeah, you are.
So amazing. These people are just, they're literally just a message away for support, for encouragement, for congratulating you. I was so impressed just by when the welcome post you did, and there was so many people welcoming me, like personally, and I thought, wow, like this is just, this is amazing. And I've taken so much of that into my own, whether that's, you bringing in experts, to talk to us. And I'm doing the same. I'm bringing in a career coach. I'm trying to bring in a yoga coach, because I want them to feel like royalty. Like, this is what you deserve, and I'm here to serve you. And because that's how I felt. That's how I was treated.
Oh, ripple effect.
Ripple effect all the way.
I'm so glad you brought up the fact that you were able to speak with me prior to enrolling, because I'm telling you, I am a part of your world. I become a part of your vision. Your vision becomes my vision. Right. And I will stop at nothing to get you to that next level, as long as you are doing the work and meet me halfway. But I have to know that you're in it. And that's why I still do some of the calls. I have to know through and through in my own heart and spirit, before we put all our time and energy into your vision, we got to know that you are committed, that you're decisive, that you're coachable, that you're resourceful, and that you're ready to go and no longer sit on your dream and vision. We are ready to hit the ground running as soon as you say, yes, let's go.
Right.
That's how intense.
I'm telling you, I'm like that, child who just takes everything from you and just, implements it. Like, the post I did today says, I'm only looking for, social workers who are highly committed to their well-being.
Yep.
And I don't think I would have had the confidence to say that before, because again, fear, right? Fear of rejection, fear of what they might think, fear of like, who am I, but it's this ability to show up, in just a completely different way.
Absolutely.
Already I had a message saying, do I qualify?
And it's so important for you to set those boundaries in your business, in your own mind, in your own brain, in your own heart. Set those boundaries, because not everybody is ready for you at the level that you are on. Yes, you would love to help all social workers. Yes, I would like to teach 7 billion people about their brain. Right. But the truth is, everybody's not ready.
Right.
And that's okay. Everybody's on their own journey. But you have to be a certain part in your journey, in your heart, in your spirit, to go to the next level with OptiMind. So that's why I do the calls personally most of the time. So if anyone is interested in learning more about this OptiMind journey and want to get on Saveen's level, I will put the link to book a call, and we can just hang out and have a candid conversation of where you are and talk about your vision, and we'll see if the OptiMind program is a good fit for you and your journey. Okay. But only a small percentage is going to hear the call. That's just a fact. But we don't need 7 billion people in the OptiMind program. We only need a small percentage that will make ripples in the universe. Okay, so you have to decide, do you want to be the start of that ripple? Right? Are you committed enough to go on the journey of mastering your brain and mind and build a business that's authentic to you and trust in the process and be able to make a bigger impact and a bigger income in the world? That's what you have to sit with before you click the link to make a call with me, because I value my time and I value your time. Okay, so I'll put that link somewhere in the notes, call notes, or in the post. And I just want to thank you so much, Saveen, for showing up and showing up and showing up. And I know that so many social workers and everybody they touch has been empowered by you. Even the ones that don't enroll in your program yet, because you're still showing up on social media, you're emailing them, and you're showing them that there is a light. There is a light they can follow. And one day they're going to get to a tipping point, and say, who are they going to think of?
That's what I always say. I'm like, who? I mean, I'm it.
Yes. Yeah. So you are, priming them. When they're ready, they will come.
Right.
But you can only serve the ones that show up.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So I look forward to learning and watching you. I stalk you, Saveen. So
I know you do.
So that is all for today. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And if you're watching the replay or listening to this on the podcast, make a comment, email us. If you have questions, feel free to email us your questions, comments, insights. I'm sure there was a lot of insights. And remember, when you better your mind and better your brain, you can better your impact in the world. We believe in you. Take care, everyone. Thank you.